Hello Bloomington, I'm Mayor Tim Busse and this is the Council Minute for the week of December 19th. Back in April, the City Council voted to change the way we conduct our public comment period as part of our council meeting Mondays. We made the change to council listening sessions and we overhauled how we, the council, engage with residents. As part of the change, we agreed that before the end of the year, we'd review how the change was going. And we did that on Monday evening. First, some quick background. Back in the spring, we talked a lot about the shortcomings of the way the Bloomington City Council had traditionally done the public comment period as part of council meetings. We had heard from many people that the old practice of requiring people to stand before the council at the podium, on camera, with people behind them in the chambers, was very intimidating. We heard that asking questions and then having to wait a week to have those questions answered was frustrating. I know council members were frustrated because our rules of procedure didn't allow any back and forth between the council and residents. And finally, we also knew that we needed to find a way to get more people involved. So we switched to council listening sessions, which I believe have been a huge improvement on all fronts. Including Monday night, we've now held 21 listening sessions. Over the course of those 21 listening sessions, the council has heard from 62 individual speakers, or in a couple of cases, a small group, with 35 of those folks being first-time or non-repeat speakers. That's an impressive number of people who are new to the process since we've made the change. Now, if you discount for one omnipresent participant who has spoken at each of our listening sessions, those numbers change to 21 listening sessions with 42 speakers, 35 of those being first-time or non-repeat. That absolutely meets our goals of bringing new voices to the conversation. And while people discuss things we've heard about in the past, like budget or levy concerns or questions about ranked choice voting, many people brought forward topics that I don't recall hearing about in the past. Things like a suggestion for a community Christmas tree lighting ceremony, a good discussion on solar panels in the community. We heard concerns about crime and rideability issues on the Blue Line LRT. We learned more about the foundations that help fund activities at both Jefferson and Kennedy High School. We got a preview of the Bloomington Notables Project, and we heard from musicians representing the Bloomington Symphony Orchestra. And the best part of it was that the council was able to make it a conversation. Rather than a one-sided speech on camera, we had a discussion. The council asked and answered questions, we gained clarity, there was back and forth. Folks, there was engagement. That's what we set out to do. Ultimately, the City Council made it very clear they are very happy with the listening session format. There were a couple of good suggestions about possible flexibility in the time or the days we hold listening sessions, or even the possibility of taking listening sessions out into the community. We've asked our Community Outreach and Engagement Division to bring options back for council consideration. I'm looking forward to continuing our listening sessions and other possible outreach and engagement opportunities in 2023. Also on Monday night, the Council approved the 2023 compensation plan for full-time, non-union employees as well as part-time, temporary, and seasonal employees. This is an annual action of the Council, and of course it's tied to the 2023 city budget that the Council adopted on December 5th. The proposed compensation plan reflects a 3% general cost of living wage increase for non-represented staff. I'm never shy about saying that the City of Bloomington staff is the best in the state of Minnesota. Our wage and benefits package, along with policies like remote work arrangements and flexible work hours, and strategies like strong employee engagement efforts, they're all designed to attract and retain the best possible people to serve you, the residents of Bloomington. One interesting part of our compensation plan this year has been the need to look very closely at the wage we pay our part-time and seasonal employees. It's not news to anyone that the Minnesota labor market is tight. If we're going to remain competitive for good talent, we need to make sure our wages are competitive, especially for seasonal or part-time employees in our Park and Rec department. If you remember, last winter, we weren't able to open warming houses next to our outdoor rinks, primarily because we didn't have the staff to do so. Over the summer, we were forced to reduce our offerings in summer camps and park programs for many of the same reasons. And don't get me started on how hard it is to find lifeguards to work at the Family Aquatic Center. Those folks, and many others, don't have a work-at-home option. So to keep pace with the marketplace and to attract applicants, our Park and Rec department raised the wages for those part-time positions. Some of the cost was covered by increased fees, but staff didn't want to raise fees so high that residents wouldn't be able to afford camps or programming. So, Some of that cost is coming from the city's general fund. When I talked about the 2023 budget a couple of weeks ago, I said it reflected what we heard from residents and the priorities they specifically identified. This is part of that as well. We heard very clearly that warming houses are important, that park programming and summer camps are important, that shortages of seasonal workers and the cuts in services that resulted from those shortages are not acceptable. Now, in the grand scheme of things, increasing the wages of a lifeguard from $13.50 to $17 per hour is not an enormous deal. But it reflects the reality that we live in today. Bloomington residents expect quality city services, whether that service is being delivered by the executive leadership team, or office workers, or police officers, or part-time park and rec staff. With that expectation comes the responsibility of the council and senior staff to find ways to put people in place to do that work. As I know you've heard, Bloomington City Council member Nathan Coulter was elected to the Minnesota State House of Representatives back in November. Monday night was Nathan's final meeting of the City Council, and he'll be sworn in at the State House on January 3rd. He has been a great representative of Bloomington on the City Council for 5 years, and I know he'll be an equally great advocate at the state level. Thank you for your service, Nathan. With Nathan's departure, there will be a vacancy on the City Council for one of the at-large council seats. The process is already underway to find someone to fill that seat. We've had the application process open for a couple of weeks now, and I've been encouraging folks to apply. The only official qualification is that any applicant must be a Bloomington resident. It's a part-time role that pays the princely sum of $12,396 annually. The application deadline is 4 p.m. on Thursday, December 22nd, so it is possible that you may be seeing this after that deadline has passed. Now, we don't want to have a council seat sit vacant for too long, so we're moving to fill the vacancy early in the new year. The City Council will review applications and will conduct interviews in early January. And the plan right now is to do those interviews in the council chambers and to have those interviews on cable and live streamed. An appointment is expected by late January or early February of 2023. The person appointed to fill the open seat will fill Councilmember Coulter's unexpired term until the next regular municipal election on November 7th, 2023. The result of that election will determine who will fill the remainder of the term, which expires January 5th, 2026. The names of the applicants will be public in the next week or so, and as I said, we're going to move quickly on this, so stay tuned as the process continues. That will do it for this week's Council Minute. I hope everyone has a safe and happy holiday season and a wonderful start to 2023. I'm excited about the opportunities for the city in the new year, and I look forward to many, many more of these weekly updates. Until next time, stay warm and safe, Bloomington.